Hello guys, welcome to Movies Recap. This is a new channel, so please support by hitting that subscribe button and like this video, it really will help the channel out a lot. Thank you in advance. Today I have a 2013 psychological thriller film called Stoker. Spoiler content ahead, watch out and take care. The story starts with a young lady getting out of her car and walking towards a field, and then the camera focuses in on a flower stained with what appears to be blood. Then the scene turns into a funeral for Richard Stoker, who is India's father and was an outstanding architect. India, who was so close to her father, can be seen to be in a state of shock and disbelief, while her mother Evelyn is crying non-stop next to her. Later we can see India sitting on the dining table while two maids gossip about how her father's car was pried open and his body was burned to a crisp and how this whole accident felt so strange. India is seen listening to their conversations in the next room, till Mrs. McGarrick came to interrupt the two maids, and the maids can be seen leaving the place in a hurry. Mrs. McGarrick, whom India is quite fond of, walked towards India and started to try and cheer India up from her grieving. She urged India to go and open her present which she has for her. India, surprised by the revelation that Mrs. McGarrick was the one who put her presents in the box on top of a tree every year on her birthday. Since she was little, she always thought it was her father who was putting those shoes as a present for her in the box. Later she can be seen opening the box and finding a key, but she doesn't know what it opens. That day a lot of people came for the funeral, one of whom was Charlie, Richard's brother. Her mother tries to introduce Charlie to India, but she refuses to greet him because she didn't know she had an uncle up until this moment. Later India can be seen lying in bed with all the shoes she has gotten for her birthday since she was little. Then the scene shifts to Mrs. McGarrick arguing with Charlie. When Evelyn woke up in the afternoon and went to find Mrs. McGarrick, she couldn't find her anywhere. She asked India if she would like to go out for shopping and also get ice cream to try and get her mind off her father's death. But India refused the offer, not in the mood. Later, Evelyn and Charlie can be seen leaving the house while India stayed behind at home. Out of things to do, she went to Charlie's room and started to go through his stuff. She found a toy gun, a bag full of passport, a map and other things, as well as pair of eyeglasses. She also found a box similar to the one her birthday presents were wrapped in. When her mother and Charlie came back, she hurriedly put the box where she found it and went downstairs to greet them. She found them enjoying wine. When Charlie asked India to take the ice cream they bought down to the freezer, India reluctantly agreed to take them. She can be seen putting the ice cream into the freezer in a haste as she heard a sound that frightened her. Charlie can be seen cooking as he volunteered to help as Mrs. McGarrick's whereabouts was unknown. Later the family can be seen enjoying their meal, but Charlie didn't touch a single thing from his plate. Evelyn can be heard commenting that Charlie didn't even touch his food and asking in a joking manner if he put poison in the food only for them to eat. Later India and her mother get into a heated argument about why they didn't tell her she had an uncle. When her mother leaves, India stays behind to talk with Charlie. The next day India is in class and drawing when she is interrupted by Pitts, the school's bully, with a drawing of her painting. While this is going on, Whip can be seen watching. Finally, when class is over, India finds Charlie waiting for her outside her school. India, who wasn't pleased by this, decided to take the bus instead. The girls on the bus can be seen looking out through the back of the bus as they were mesmerized by Charlie's handsomeness as he was following the school bus. When he drove beside the bus, the girls began to yell and scream, which annoyed India, so she decided to walk instead. However, Charlie was persistent and followed her by car till her home. The next day when India is leaving for school, Charlie is seen offering India an umbrella saying, "It is going to rain." India ignored him and went to school. Later when India arrived at her home after school, she found the umbrella her uncle had put on the gate for her. Despite the heavy rain, India was not willing to take the umbrella. She entered the house very wet and upon entering the house found her mother teaching Uncle Charlie how to play a piano. Her mother commented that India should take a warm shower so she won't catch a cold. The next day when the doorbell rang, it was India's aunt, Auntie Jin, at the door. Later at dinner everyone can be seen enjoying their dinner until Auntie Jin asks Charlie how long he has been here, and he responds by saying not long. Evelyn adds in saying how grateful she is Charlie took time away from his commitments in Europe to be with them. The answer shocks Auntie Jin, and Charlie can be seen leaving the table. Later as Auntie Jin is leaving for the night, Charlie asks her which hotel she will be staying that night, before proceeding to tell the driver that she will be staying at the Biltmore. Auntie Jin can be seen giving her phone number to India, telling her to call her. As soon as Auntie Jin leaves the house, she asks the driver if there are any other hotels in town besides the Biltmore. Later, Auntie Jin can be seen in a crappy motel. In another scene, India can be seen in the basement. Auntie Jin, on the other hand, is seen calling to see if she dropped her phone at the check-in at the motel, but is disappointed to hear that no one reported a missing phone. So, she goes outside to use a payphone. While India is in the basement eating ice cream, Evelyn goes up to check on Charlie, but she couldn't find him there. Auntie Jin calls India's house, but no one seems to be picking up. At that moment, as Auntie Jin looks out through the foggy windows, she sees a man approaching her. That man, later confirmed to be Charlie, walks up to her and hands her phone back in an intimidating manner. He confronts her, asking why she is here, while she told him she would be in the Biltmore Hotel, and remarking that he had to call the cab company to know where she was. Charlie can be seen unbuckling his belt, which was Richard's in the beginning. India, on the other hand, can be seen trying to put the ice cream back when something catches her attention. As she lifts the frozen meat, she is shocked to discover Mrs. McGarrick's dead body in the freezer. Back at the phone booth, Charlie can be seen strangling Auntie Jin with his belt. The next day, when school is over, Charlie can be seen waiting for India at the front of her school. India, who saw this, decided to use the back exit. Unfortunately for her, she meets a group of bullies on her way and takes out a pencil for self-defense in anticipation of what is about to happen. The bullies start to taunt her, saying that she should go by Stroker instead of Stoker, adding that her mother was probably having an affair with her uncle. India, who wasn't pleased with Pitt's comment, approached him in an intimidating manner with a pencil in hand. When he tried to punch her, she immediately stabbed his fist with the pencil. Charlie, on the other hand, has been observing everything. Later that evening, India went downstairs to find her mother and Charlie kissing. This angered India, who ran away after seeing what happened. After having gone a long way, she meets Whip at a bar and asked him if would like to go on a walk with her. Whip, who was surprised by this, asks India why she approached him. Later we can see India and Whip making love. India, who had seen Charlie caressing her mother's breast, put Whip's hands on her breast, expecting that it would make her feel the way she thought Charlie's touch would have felt. As Whip wanted to get more intimate, India, who didn't feel like it, asked Whip if she could go home. Whip, who was now aroused, was not willing to let her go without making love to her. So he began to force himself on her. As India punched him, in order to get away from him, he hit her in the stomach and she fell on the ground due to the pain. As Whip is taking his trousers off to make love with India, we can see Charlie approaching him, unbuckling his belt. Charlie takes down Whip to the ground and ties his legs with the belt. Charlie then tells India to have a go at Whip. India, who was in pain, started to hit Whip with anger and malice. Whip then suddenly pulls India to the ground and starts choking her. Charlie, who saw this, then steps in, putting his belt around Whip's neck and pulling backwards, while India is holding Whip's hands to keep him from fighting back. We later see Whip's neck snap and India is left staring. Back at home, while Charlie is disposing of the body, India is seen secretly calling Mrs. McGarrick, but was surprised to hear a ringing phone in the ground below her. After realizing what might have happened to Mrs. McGarrick, she went to help Charlie bury Whip's body in their backyard and put a huge boulder over his grave. Later we can see India taking a shower while crying and also moaning as she touches herself, thinking of what she and Charlie did. She has clearly fallen for Charlie. The next day, India was going through her late father's study and discovered a locked drawer and realized the keyhole matched the key she received on her birthday. As she unlocked the drawer, he finds a gun and a box containing old pictures of Charlie, Richard, and a boy named Jonathan. In the drawer there was another box with letters addressed to India from Charlie. As she began to go through all of them, she realized that Uncle Charlie had sent mails since she was 5 years old, but her father had kept this from her. As she continued to read the mails, she started to feel fonder of Uncle Charlie. She was taking the mails to her room when one of them fell, and as she picked it up, she realized that it was sent from a place called Crawford Institute. As she went through all of them, she realized all of them were sent from the Crawford Institute, contrary to what Uncle Charlie claimed. She started to interrogate Charlie when he came to the house, saying that her father also had the same glasses, which he wore only when driving, so they were always in the glove compartment. And adding they are probably melted with the rest of her father's car. She then asked Charlie to leave before her mother wakes up. Charlie, on the other hand, asked India if she wasn't curious what happened to Richard. And she replied she was curious of what happened to Jonathan the boy she saw in the pictures. In a flashback we can see Jonathan playing with Richard while Charlie was building a castle out of sand. The scene then shifts with Jonathan in the hole that Charlie dug. By the time Richard came running, he couldn't find Jonathan anywhere. But finds Charlie lying on the sand making angels. Richard then pushes Charlie away and starts to dig, realizing Charlie has buried Jonathan alive. Later we can see Charlie being taken somewhere and is seen playing with the toy gun we previously saw. And aims it at the driver, but the toy gun is taken from him. After a while he arrived at Crawford Institute. Later the scene shifts to Richard stepping out of his car, being greeted by a woman thanking him for their family's donation of this building to the Crawford Institute 20 years back. And adding that Charlie's room is still very comfortable. She also mentioned that Charlie was the one who wanted to stay here. Later as Charlie greets Richard, Richard moves back unsure of what to expect after not seeing his brother for years. We then can see Charlie, who normally doesn't like to be touched, hugging the woman and bidding her farewell. The woman then adds she was very proud of the improvement Charlie has made. In the car we can see Richard parking behind a car and offering the car keys to Charlie, saying that it was Charlie's favorite car. He then goes on to tell Charlie he is going to love New York and proceeds to show him the apartment he got him and giving him the money he needs and telling him all he needs is in this small bag. Charlie then asks Richard why they weren't going to Richard's place and if he couldn't see India. Richards tell Charlie he couldn't, saying he knew why. Charlie then asks Richard if he still loves him. To which Richard replies he does, but can't let him near India or his family. Charlie goes out of the car in disappointment as he vomits. At the same time he picks up a rock and goes back to the car where Richard was. He then starts to hit Richard with the rock till he finally kills Richard. The scene then shifts to India slapping Charlie when he told her what he did. She then asks him what he wanted and why he came now. Charlie answered by telling India the day he left Crawford and the day her father died was India's 18th birthday and proceeds to give her the present he prepared for her and told her he has been waiting for her. He then starts to put on the heels he bought her and tells her happy birthday. At that moment, the doorbell rang and it was the town's sheriff. He came to inquire about India's whereabouts the day of Whip's disappearance, adding his parents are very worried about him. India proceeded to tell him she bumped into Whip at the parking lot and decided to go for a walk, and after that she went home. The sheriff then asked what time that was. At which time, Charlie stepped in to help her with the lie as she began to mutter and become anxious as she tried to make her story coherent. Charlie interrupted their conversation, saying it was 8:30 when she came home and they proceeded to watch TV after. India then asks the officer if Whip is okay. And the officer replies saying he has a feeling Whip will turn up. He then tells them he will be in touch. And then leaves. As he is leaving, he asked them if their housekeeper, Mrs. McGarrick, ever got in touch after leaving town so quickly. To which India responded that she didn't. The sheriff noted how it is strange people can just disappear on them. And then left. India and Charlie watch through the window as the sheriff leaves. Charlie tells India that the sheriff will come back and she asks him what they should do. Charlie then suggested that they go to New York and India agrees. At that moment, Evelyn, who had been there, listening to their conversation, apologized on being spotted and went to her room, slamming the door. That evening as Charlie and India were packing to leave, Evelyn asks to speak with Charlie, alone. There, she tells him that she knows what is happening in the house, but that she kept quiet because of love. She mentioned the sudden disappearance of Mrs. McGarrick and how her husband Richard suddenly left town on his daughter's birthday after being called by Charlie. But now tells him she can't let him take her daughter and even offered that he takes her instead. As they started to make love, Charlie suddenly turns on Evelyn and starts to choke her with his belt. He started to call for India, who was packing, to watch as he killed her mother. India can be seen coming up to where they were with a rifle at hand. She then aimed the gun at them and shot, killing Charlie. She later can be seen angry at what happened, as it makes us question if she had intended to kill her mother instead. The next morning India can be seen taking Charlie's car with a pair of cutters while her mother is still asleep. As she was driving away, she then gets stopped by the police for driving too fast. To which she responds by saying it was on purpose to catch his attention and then stabs the officer in the neck with the pair of cutters. And now we are at the point in the movie where we saw India walk out of the car to the field. There she aims the gun at the sheriff and ends up killing him. And that is the end of the movie. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the recap. This is a new channel, so I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a like. It really helps the channel out a lot. Thank you for watching and peace out.